is up, beautiful souls? Welcome to, or welcome back to Crystal Clear. I'm Crystal and I do readings for the collective. First and foremost, energy is sacred. I don't take it lightly. And if you've been guided here, I'd like to believe that there is a message in here for you. To give you an idea, I sit in meditation. I try to pick up on the energy of who I'm reading for. I'll read it, I'll lay a tarot spread, and then we'll finish with the oracle card. Hopefully in the beginning, as I describe this energy, you'll know whether this reading is for you or not. And that being said, thank you. I love the opportunity to read for my brother and sister. This is my puppy. I don't mind him. People are outside, and he's trying to chill or else decide whether to attack. So let's begin, and you'll know whether or not this reading's for you. So as I sit in meditation, I am picking up an energy that feels quite a bit of remorse. What I see is there has been an argument. And however this argument has outplayed, it's got you out of your comfort zone. You reacted in a way, I think, that is completely out of your norm. Whether it was a response or a reaction, I kind of feel like it was a reaction based on the cards. But either way, you're replaying this event in your head and wondering how I could have showed up differently. Maybe remorseful about maybe the words that were exchanged, how things went down. Just this, it feels like this is not in alignment to who I am. I think you won this argument, but at what cost is kind of the question. And I think you did it, right? We always, out of self-preservation, to put a shield up, to protect ourselves, whatever it may be. That's the energy I'm picking up at. I think you won, but I think it was out of alignment of who you are. And it's got you going back and forth and feeling second guessing the way you may have approached it. And if that's resonating with you, here's the spread. Here we go. We have an underlining energy which tells me, in fact, what you did was in the direction of the right direction. It's the devil in reverse. Breaking free of toxic loops, behaviors, things that keep us bound. Your reaction or the way you responded to win at any quote-unquote cost was, in fact, with intentions of the better good, I think. Now going back, I feel like this reading can go one of two ways. So maybe I'm reading for two different people, or else potentially like your Akashic record, right? There's a few ways this can rev off. So bear with me as I try to explain. Because of the way this energy is coming in, it's just this alignment of that's not who I am. That's not how I show up, and I'm regretting the way I won this. But because it was due to something that was toxic, that is not for your higher self, not for the betterment of yourself, or even for the person in the dynamic, right? It's trying to overcome this old behavior. It almost feels like it could have been somebody that pushed you to your limits, and that's why you stepped out of your comfort zone or out of your alignment. Or the other thing I'm getting, you laid boundaries maybe for the first time in your life, and you feel super uncomfortable, even though you know it was for the betterment of yourself and to avoid self-abandonment and to step into your higher self and to show up for yourself the way you need to. Maybe it's not the way, you just don't see it the way you did it. It was like practicing, but it wasn't, whatever happened is out of your comfort zone, and it's something that doesn't align to who you are. You don't feel comfortable about the way you won this argument, the way you went about it. So at the heart of the spread, the oracles that represent you, again, this is like, there's two different ways this is going to go. So bear with me. I'm just going to explain both because I get two different ways of reading it. We have the crossroads of the soul and the spark of reunion. And I just want you to take a moment and look at both of their faces. This argument, just in the time it takes to reflect and retrospect, I think it got probably both of you guys shook up and out of alignment. And it does feel like a crossroads, because how you go forward, how this, in whatever situation, is going to carve something new. It's going to break the old habits of the devil, of the behaviors, of the relationships that have kept you bound in the past. Regardless of how you approached it then or now, when I read the crossroads of the soul, I feel like this is the moment of coming to higher self, coming into your truth, your awareness, and in all that reflection that you are. It represents where you are right now, right? What the hell just happened? And the spark of reunion. I can't help but feel like there's going to be an opportunity. I just feel this intuitively, that you'll be able to, you're going to, somehow, somewhere, the divine is going to give you an opportunity to recorrect this with whoever it is. That's the spark of a reunion. How you go forward is going to be the telltale, right? And if there is no spark of reunion, you don't get to see this individual again. Is a spark of a reunion about to your truths, regardless, and how you're going to show up for yourself from here on going forward, before we allow things to get unhinged, right? Being able, I think that's the things you were reflecting on. How do we avoid attracting the devil, the toxic behavior, the addictions, the obsessions, whatever, again, going forward from here on out, about growth. And that's feeling like a struggle, because it comes with the Ace of Swords as you're crossing energy. It's recognizing that you use that sword of truth to cut through the chains that have kept you bound by whatever this dysfunctional relationship was providing. I also think in doing so, you provided a profound clarity for both of you. Maybe it came through unconsciously, but it rattled, I believe, both of you. It was unexpected. But also in that truth, you know, they say tact is the ability to tell somebody to go to hell in such a way that they look forward to the ride. Is there a better way to say the truth with compassion and grace than being a dick or a bitch, whatever it may be, right? That's your crossing energy. Was it true? Yes. I think you probably said some really harsh truths, but it's not resonating with your soul the way you delivered it. So I pulled a card and I asked, from your perspective, the way you see it, what is it? What is your perception? How are you embodying this? What should I know from you based on all the energies we're picking up with? And in fact, it just clarifies, and I think even furthermore solidifies exactly that. It comes with the Queen of Cups. I believe I'm speaking to somebody who's very intuitive, very empathic, very sensitive to energies, especially to that surrounds you, right? And I can't help but feel like maybe the conflicting energies you are struggling with is because you're a feeler and more intuitive, that dealing with the logical sides and the analyticals and balancing that has come at the cost of kind of who you are in a different sense. And I want to just further clarify with this, because yes, I think it's almost that, if I could just love somebody more, if I could just, love is the answer. Love is the answer to everything. But until we fully understand love, we self-abandon. I want to clarify too, whoever you're dealing with, is you seeing it from your point of view in the Queen of Cups, you have a massive amount of love and respect for this person. Maybe not respect, but you have a massive amount of love and compassion. And I really think I'll be honest, I feel like in this, as I read this intuitively, you have a lot of hope that there can be a reunion, that there can be things undone and right, but not at the cost of where you guys have been, but what can you do going forward? But if there is no reunion, again, it's embodying who you are by removing kind of the rosy colored shade glasses and seeing everything for the truth of what it is. Now I ask, from Spirit's point of view, from a higher perspective, them looking in on what happened, was their point of view. And I don't think your intuition, this reflection, tells you that you're so far off. Is that hard mirror, right? And Spirit's hard truth, because only truth can liberate us. It comes with the King of Cups in reverse and the Strength in reverse. What went down in this argument was brutal. And I think from Spirit's point of view, there was a lack of self-emotional regulation. And rather than moving from a place of response, you allowed a trigger and emotion to overflow and dominate at the cost of winning. From Spirit's point of view, I read these two cards as you weren't able to hold the grace that you normally give others. And from that big cup of heart, of love that you have, it was depleted and you moved into reaction. I almost read these cards, guys, as reactive abuse. That's how come I'm like, was this? And we do have the devil at the bottom, right? So it's like in reverse. Reactive abuse is something that just happens, but it means that, but in reflection on a spiritual point of view, it goes back to what in the hell did we ever allow to get so out of our own grasp that we even got pushed to that limit? Where were the boundaries that we self-abandoned ourselves, that we lost our dignity and our grace, the ability to sit in our self-authority, our self-sovereignty, and dictate where our energy goes? But reactive abuse is such, I mean, that's a lot of, it takes a lot to get to the reactive abuse. That's like the devil upright behavior that has been consistent and ongoing for quite a while. So what's the advice from Spirit going forward? Comes with two cards. And again, I read this two ways. So if there is a reconnection, if there is an opportunity to rekindle this relationship and doing things right going forward, it's going to first come down to you. And if not, if there is no reconnection, if this is just the lesson and you guys are going your separate ways, there's still so much to be learned regardless, right? The first and foremost comes down to you and you embodying your power, your sovereignty. And that means the emperor, right? He is stern, he is logical, he doesn't shout, he's not aggressive, he's assertive. He knows that he is powerful. He knows that rain is what waters the flowers, not the thunder. It's coming back into that power of I can't control you, but I can control myself. This is the construction, the structure I need in my life, and I will provide it for myself first. And if you get beyond these 4 pillars or walls or whatever it may be, these are the expectations to enter the palace, into my world. And if you do come, or anybody else for that matter, it's with the 3 of Pentacles. We work together in a team. Now, this is why I also, when I first saw this card, guys, so it may not resonate with all of you, but I do think that there's going to be an opportunity to rekindle, to work on this. This 3 of Pentacles has what perceives 2 people looking almost to like a mentor for guidance. To me, it almost looks like marriage counseling, getting help so you guys can work together, see things from the right point of view. This could even be a dynamic between you and a child. Whatever it may be, finding counseling, getting the right help to create the structure, but working together to mend it. And if there is no reconnection, if there's no rekindling of this relationship, what's said is said and it's done and it's going separate ways, it's you recreating and working with your higher self, with spirit, with your guides. Maybe that's what the 3 represent. Of understanding what are your boundaries. Because boundaries are universal, guys, right? They're different for everybody, and that's okay. The idea, though, is finding those who will respect your boundaries without pushing them or trying to manipulate them because they don't care. They expect you to do what they need, they want, right? Those who matter will respect them and honor them, whether they agree with it or not. And that, at the end of the day, is what's so important to you, understanding your boundaries, what you stand for. So, what is the potential outcome of all of this? When it's all said and done, it comes with the Tower, but it comes in reverse, which is actually really beautiful. Again, I'm going to read this 2 ways. If the relationship is done and you guys are both moving separate ways, I read this Tower as you going in. You won at any cost, whatever that may be, but you're becoming conscious by the remorse, by the self-reflection of how I could have handled things better, right? Going forward, how do I avoid a devil moment? Better yet, how do I avoid a Tower moment? Even if that was kind of a Tower moment in itself, it's you coming back in, tearing things down layer by layer of what does serve you, what doesn't serve you, so that you can recreate that Tower, your palace, into something that's stable. With your pillars. And knowing what and what will not be allowed within your sanctuary. And if there is a reconnection, if there is a reunion forthcoming, and for somebody, I really think there is. I think it's just a matter of being able to work with one another, getting the right help that's necessary. You working on yourself too, and your own expectations. really firmly stopping things before they get out of hand. The moment you see something that's not copacetic to the relationship, instead of ignoring it or pushing it under the rug, recognizing we need to work on this now, and if you're not willing to work on it, there's no progression going forward. Because I will refuse to allow myself to be pushed to the point where I'm out of alignment with myself. The way Spirit sees it, right? No is a full sentence. You don't have to lose yourself at the cost of anybody. And we do. I don't think there's any one of us that hasn't. So there's absolutely no judgment, right? Let's finish with the Oracle card from Spirit. And see if there's anything they like to put in there, or if there's anything I may have missed. Put your energy in here. Bear with me while I shuffle. We'll see what comes. Calling in the love that we are, the light that we are. Holy Spirit, higher self. Archangels, Ascended Masters, all those that are here for the highest good. Let's find the card that's necessary for the viewer today. That was fast. All right, here we go. Dearest you, we here on the other side have one important thing to declare. Love is the answer to literally everything. We don't necessarily mean romantic or erotic love, although they are wonderful, but something above and beyond that. Everything alive in the world was first created by love. Spirit sends love to animate life and birth. Spirit sends love to animate life and birth it into existence. Love is without conditions and is based in reverence and a fierce and joyful respect for life. Love thrives when you focus on it, and we want you to turn away from anything that causes it to wane. Love is when you no longer see yourself as other, separate from, better or less than, etc. When you act as love, you give permission to the world to thrive and grow as it will. Can you let go of what is not love and ask, what would love do? Love is waiting for you always and forever. We just adore you over here. You are loved. I hope this reading was helpful to somebody out there. In hopes to help this channel grow, your engagement really helps. So if you've gotten this far, you want to own this, stepping forward into that of love, put an emoji, a heart emoji, share if it resonates, share your experience if you feel so called. Vulnerability actually helps the world know that we're not alone and that we've all been there, we're doing it, we're navigating it together, right? These emotions are universal. But if anything, if you can drop me a like, it would help. Maybe share with somebody that can resonate. Again, thank you for allowing me to tap into this energy. Sacred. I've been there. This energy is not that foreign. I understand. And may we look at every opportunity just exactly that. It's just an opportunity to go again and do it right with a little bit more wisdom, right? I love you guys so much. And until next time, namaste.